It's my pleasure to welcome Orlando City SC as Major League Soccer's 21st expansion team. Yeah!
It's the end of an era. The final USL Pro season.
Takes a shot, and it's a goal! Orlando City!
There's a target on our back, but we've only got one mission: win. 2 goals, a ball, and a culture defined by success.
Make sure we get after you guys, yeah?
Don't think we're just going to overlook this season. After all, we have a title to defend.
The USL Pro playoffs have come to the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex at Walt Disney World Resort. Tonight, top-seeded Orlando City hosts the 8th seed, the Harrisburg City Islanders. Good evening and welcome, everybody. I'm Jeff Radcliffe. Thank you so very much for joining us for another YouTube telecast of Orlando City and USL Pro Soccer Playoff Edition. And I'm joined by T-Squared, Tom Traxler, back from vacation. Orlando City did it. They won the Commissioner's Cup regular season championship. Now it gets real. No more margin for error.
No, for either team, and not for Orlando. In fact, the good news for Orlando is that they won the Commissioner's Cup. They're going to have all their playoff games at home as long as they keep winning. And, of course, here at home, Jeff, 13-0-1, and that's 13 wins on the trot. They only drew their opener here at home.
Tom, Harrisburg and Orlando, their history goes way back to that 2011 championship game won by Orlando City. The two teams have met twice here in the regular season. They split both meetings. Orlando, a 3-1 victory that was a lot closer than perhaps perceived, as Harrisburg was out without 3 starters in that game.
And if you remember, Harrisburg threw a Robbie Dershang early goal, taking that 1-0 lead, Jeff, and then threw a fantastic free kick by Darwin Sarin. Orlando City was able to level the score, and they held it 2-1 for the longest period of time, and that was really a 2-1 game that ended up 3-1 on a late Darwin Sarin strike. So a very close game here at ESPN Wide World of Sports.
Those 3 midfielders, Jimmy McLaughlin, Morgan Langley, and this guy, Jan Ekra, who grew up in the youth system, the Lyon youth system, in fact, over in France. In fact, he used to be teammates with Karim Benzema as a youth. He currently leads the Harrisburg City Islanders in assists.
Well, that's quite a nice name to have in your Rolodex, but that's a nice young man right there to have in your team, Jan Ekra. Jan Ekra, he can get back and forth, up and down. He holds the ball really well, which is important for the Harrisburg City Islanders, and he distributes just as well. But it's his play going backward that is really vital also to the play for Coach Bill Betcher and the Harrisburg City Islanders.
His passport from the Ivory Coast. For Orlando City, Mr. Golden Boot, Kevin Molino. How about 20 goals, 9 assists? He just keeps on chugging and winning everything this season for Orlando.
Well, he's having the season of his professional career for sure. You know, those 20 goals, that's an Orlando City record. That's a USL Pro record. And he is going to have to be at the top of his game now. This is when Orlando City needs Kevin Molino to play well. Harrisburg City Islanders need Jan Ekra to play well. You need your team to play well, and you certainly need your best players playing well at this point.
It is time for the Lions to turn up the wick. We spoke to the gaffer, Adrian Heath, at training this week, and he told us it's all about the approach at this point.
Well, we've got to approach the game in exactly the same way. We treat every game with the same importance, but obviously the fact now the result can, a draw's no good to anybody. So we're going to get a result on Saturday. But I'm more concerned, Jeff, you've heard me say it a million times, how we approach the game. We drop it 10%, 15%. We give ourselves a chance of losing the game. The regular season's done. We achieve what we set out to do. That's been put away now. We have 3 games left. It's a 3-game season for us. Starts on Saturday. We've had a good week's training. The lads are looking good, Nick, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, no more standings because we are in the playoffs. Here's what the bracket looks like, Tom Traxler. Basically, we got an East Coast and a West Coast bracket. Harrisburg, the 1-8 matchup tonight. Charleston, Richmond, the 4-5 matchup in Richmond tonight. Winner of that game will take on Orlando here next week. If Orlando gets by Harrisburg, that's a big if, of course, as we already mentioned. Wilmington at Sacramento, Rochester at Los Angeles. Those two longtime powers in USL Pro have tough road trips.
This is not an easy bracket any way you slice it. This is a very tough Harrisburg, not a typical 8 seed, Jeff, as you and I talked about. Orlando City, that's a 1-8. That's a tough game. Richmond, Charleston be tough. The 2 winners, that's a great game. Sacramento playing very well. LA Galaxy 2 playing very well. Whoever's going to win this league is going to have to play well, have a little bit of luck, but most importantly, they're going to have to be on top of their game and have big starts to every game.
Well, the Harrisburg City Islanders tonight will get to the lineup shortly. It'll be a little bit interesting because their partner club in MLS, the Philadelphia Union, are entrenched in quite a battle, not just in MLS. They stand 6th in the Eastern Conference race. They play New York Red Bulls, in fact, tonight, but they've in that U.S. Open Cup final against Seattle on the 16th, so they've pulled a couple of those normal guys you see here for Harrisburg, those loanees. They've pulled them back, and that's understandable.
Well, you know, while you think that's a big loss for Harrisburg, and it is in actuality, but let's just consider that when they came here, they were still missing 3 players the last time and performed very, very well. So I don't think Harrisburg is going to be concerned by that in any way, shape, or form coming into this game.
Bill Betcher in his 10th season does in fact have 3 Philadelphia loanees in that lineup. Marquez at center back. Jimmy McLaughlin there on the midfield, a wing player who was one of those players that missed out. And Antoine Hopino, we saw what he could do in those games earlier against Orlando City, the 22-year-old forward. He'll be flanked by Jameel Hardware, the Jamaican striker there on the left. Nick Noble, the always talented goalie for Harrisburg City Islanders. And Orlando City, not much of a change, but just one going into the playoffs here for Coach.
Well, going with the hot hand in between the pipes, Carl Wazinski will get the start tonight. Luke Bowden returns back to his starting position over on the left back side. In the middle of that defense, Rob Valentino, Tommy Redding, and Brian Burke over on that right side. Of course, we know he gets forward very, very well. Keys to the Orlando City lineup will be these 2 here, the holding mids. Harrison Heath will be starting alongside Estrella. Both of them have put in great performances late in this season. And then the 3 in front of them, Adama Mbenge over on the left side, the hot goal-scoring machine, Kevin Molino, right there in the hole. And Kobe Spann will be on the right side. And up top, the guy here they like to call Corey Sonic the Herzog will get his go up top as the forward.
Tom, you and I were talking off air about Harrisburg. Look, they played 4 of their last 5 in the regular season on the road. They've basically been in the playoffs to fight for that 8th seed. In fact, they dropped from 5th to 8th in their last 5 games, but they made it, and now they go to pull off the upset.
Well, yeah, they're really playoff tested already. They've been in playoff mode now for quite a few games of the last regular season. But having said that, so is Orlando, because their goal was to win the Commissioner's Cup, something they only did with 1 game to spare. So every game was important to Orlando City. So for these 2 teams, they have both been playoff tested up to this point, and they're both playoff ready.
See Harrisburg in the light blue and dark blue sleeves, a very Philadelphia Union look as we're underway here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. Matt Miscannon leading a veteran crew. Kevin Klinger, Jonathan Quinter, and Hassan Belnaya will assist him as far as our refereeing crew. And Orlando City will take possession, moving from right to left here on our opening half. We're in the familiar purple.
Well, you can see they went backwards off kickoff, and Harrisburg straight away put the pressure on. I think it's important for both these teams to get fast starts, and you can see Harrisburg coming to put the pressure on immediately. So I've always said I like going forward off kickoffs. I don't like going back and inviting that pressure, Jeff. And you can see why. They've only just now gotten across midfield.
Molino loses it, and Jameel Hardware will play it back. Held up by Jose Baril. Will be the guy, the distributor cap in that defensive midfield for Coach Bill Betcher, now in his 10th season, the native of St. Louis. One of the best indoor players of all time back in his playing days. 280 goals scored back in the MISL. Oof. The Harrisburg Heat.
I don't care what league you play in, that's a lot of goals.
Estrella. And we'll play it to that corner as Brian Burke seen some time, and it's been nice to see the native of Newport Beach, California, back in the lineup the last couple of games. Really took most of the season to come back from that broken leg from last season.
Yeah, it was a really bad injury suffered at Charleston last season, and only just now coming back to full fitness. But what a great time to come back to full fitness. I mean, right here at the thick of it, the playoff times.
7 regular season appearances, so this is 8th. And you see Nick Noble, the goalie, wearing the orange tonight for the City Islanders, native of Damascus, Maryland, just outside of our nation's capital. In our second minute, quick one touch as Molino tries to play it back out left. Nicely held in by Jimmy McLaughlin. Again, McLaughlin missed both regular season meetings against Orlando, and Philadelphia Union loanee, a perfect midfield player for Bill Betcher, and able to control the tempo of this one. He had 6 goals and 3 assists coming in 23 games, as Dama Mbenge will get right back up. Free kick, Orlando. See Hopino waiting for a mistake to pounce. And here we go.
There's your high pressure. I mean, Harrisburg, you can see they have come out, and they've come out to pressure and have a great start to this game. I think it's very important for them. I spoke with their coach, Bill Betcher, just prior to the game, and that's one of the things that he pointed out is one of the keys to success for Harrisburg would be to have a really good start against Orlando.
Bowden pings it ahead as Richie Marquez, the center back, will just play it out wisely, and Orlando will bring numbers forward here in our opening half. No score, but it's early.
If you recall, last playoff run for Orlando City, they really jumped on top of teams early at home.
That's right.
Scoring lots of goals very early in games.
After some question marks late in the regular season, we weren't quite sure what we were going to see in the playoffs, and they certainly turned it up a notch in the playoffs. See if they can do it again here this year.
Well, I'm sure that's what they want to do. It makes it awfully easy when you can have a lot of goals on your side of the scoreboard to start a game out. If you're 2-3-0 up like they were in the first 15 minutes last year, boy, that goes a long way. It makes things nice and comfortable, forces the other team to have to come out and open way up against you, and that led to some pretty big scores in the playoffs last year for Orlando. But this is a different opponent. I mean, again, Harrisburg really playoff tested, and they beat them up in Harrisburg, and deservedly so. And then came down to Orlando, as we talked about in the Open, played them very well here. So I don't think this is a typical 1 seed versus 8 seed by any stretch of the imagination.
Harrison Heath getting the start in the defensive midfield for Orlando City against Harrisburg. He'll play the ball forward, and Boehner gets to it first, sends it out for an Orlando City throw-in. Luke Bowden had a couple of nicks late in the season, back at full health against Richmond. Had a nice game against the Kickers, a 1-0 victory in a game that really didn't amount to much because Orlando City had already clinched before that game.
Yeah, he's going to pull that back. There was a nasty tackle a little late. I think they're asking for a card here. It was well after the play. Referee wanted to see if there was any advantage played on. There was none, and he brought it back, which is what a good referee should do.
Matt Miscannon, our referee tonight. Here's Mbenge taking it into the corner. Adama will send it out. Corner kick first of the night for the Lions.
He made mention that Luke Bowden had an injury. He's rarely ever, if all. I can't recall a time when Luke Bowden was injured. That was something unusual for him and for Orlando City that he was injured.
I believe he picked up the knock on that road game at Harrisburg. Missed a couple.
Yeah, I think it was on the road. I want to say it was at Charlotte. I think he picked up an ankle injury there.
Harrison Heath will do the honors with the right foot. Send it far post. First contact made by the City Islanders. Be held into the attacking third. Drilled to the far side, headed right back at Noble. We'll have to climb the ladder a bit to keep it out.
Well, you can see that coming, and that's what you get out of Luke Bowden, that ability to drop a cross where he wants it. Great left peg on Luke Bowden. And he put it right on the head of Corey Herzog.
Bods does like to drop it like it's hot.
Do I hear Snoop?
Right side, Burke. He will cut into the 18. Now Molino will redirect. Corey Herzog didn't miss by much.
What a ball in. Nice little combination play. Kevin Molino with eyes in the back of his head to find Corey Herzog on that. So watch this. Look at that cross, how he shapes it. And I'm sorry, I said Corey Herzog. That's Rob Valentino. But finds him very, very easy. I mean, he puts that ball, he puts it where he wants it.
Valentino right on target. Noble was up to the challenge this time. Had a really good game against Orlando here a couple of weeks back. Surrendered a late goal after Harrisburg was pressing for the equalizer.
And that's what happens. That's why teams don't like it when they play Orlando at home, especially, and Orlando scores first. It opens them up, and then it usually gets into trouble for the opposing team. Speaking of Luke Bowden and that ability to drop across where he wants, I heard Apple called him. They wanted to use him for the sat nav on their new Apple 6. He knows how to find any direction, and he can put it where he wants. He'll send it home if that's where he wants it to be.
No lag time whatsoever.
None.
Brian Burke will throw for Orlando City in the meantime. 8th minute, no score. Good crowd on hand as we've reached September here in Central Florida. Weather's about to turn really nice for us folks down here after this hot and rainy summer.
You know, we get 2 seasons down here in Florida. You know that, Jeff. We get summer and more summer.
Everything grows like a weed, including the weeds. We're in the middle of the park. Bowden. McLaughlin able to force a turnover. Estrella comes away. Oh, he gets taken down. No turnover. Delivered right to Wazinski. Makes his first save of the night. Carl Wazinski was up to the challenge.
That got going through Jan Ekra. I'm telling you, Jan Ekra, a lot will go through him tonight.
Makes himself City in transition now.
And he does, and now you see him getting back as well.
No, Noble. He will be the first to tell you that you can find scores, stats, news, and more exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. Pay attention to all the scores from tonight. All 4 games going. 2 of them later on because they're on the West Coast in Sacramento and LA Galaxy.
Now the people here, these 2 teams that are contesting this match will certainly have their eye on that Charleston-Richmond game. But you know what? They're going to have their hands full of each other.
Cross back into the top of the 6. Swept out of there by Rob Valentino. Boy, a lot of running going on in this one. A lot of up and down. Here's Kevin Molino trying to find Mbenge. Nicely defended by Harrisburg City Islanders, who were getting back.
Yeah, just couldn't find that seam. He was looking to play that racing Adama Mbenge through. Couldn't quite find the seam on that pass.
Hardware pushes it out right. Jimmy McLaughlin there on the wing. A little step over. Will chuck it across, and it is past the byline. Is it a goal kick? It's a corner, so it went off of an Orlando player.
Yeah, I think Luke Bowden got a piece of that just as it went across the line. Jimmy McLaughlin throwing in scissor steps like crazy.
See Adrian Heath, Ian Fuller, and Miguel Gallardo there on the bench discussing things. Taking this will be Robbie Dershang, who has scored 3 goals against Orlando in 2 games this year. Boy, that half volley attempt was thwarted by Harrison Heath. And then bumped off the ball as it went into touch. Throw in Orlando City.
Well, very bravely come out to block that. Important. Keep those from becoming issues on your own frame. Very brave. It's what you got to do, though. Any game you got to do it, but especially in the playoffs where it's, you know, it's one and done here.
Ball moves. Bowden again will look far post. Runs into the 18, headed away by Schaefer. Harrison Heath by himself calling for it. as they look in for Herzog against getting the start tonight as the striker. As Gentile and Chin both available. I'm sure we'll see each.
Certainly two good players to have coming off your bench.
Burke with the cross took a deflection, headed up by Marquez.
And if everything's going well for Orlando, get used to seeing Brian Burke forward an awful lot. He's got an incredible engine room.
Boehner ahead to Hopeno. Running on is Burrill. Thought he'd give it a go, but he'll just take it to the end line. Cross the face of goal. Ooh, dangerous situation there. Just playing it safe. Here comes Orlando on the counter. Both.
We want to have good communication for sure in those situations.
Boehner stepped up. See the skill that Harrisburg can display. Back to the right side. Boehner in the corner. Into the side netting. No fuss, no muss.
Two teams that love to get their backs forward, Jeff. There you saw Matt Boehner making a long run from his right back spot to get forward. Two teams that are not afraid to attack, Jeff, and you've seen that here so far. It's kind of been an up and down game. Both teams in each other's box. This one, I'll be shocked if it's 0-0 for long.
We're in our 14th. That's where we stand as Carl Wazinski now making his 5th straight start. Make that 4th, excuse me. He has kept a clean sheet in all 3 previous starts. Now Luke Bowden surveys things in front, cuts inside, and Mbenge will stay on his feet.
Good touch.
Flick on header goes over the bar.
Well, that's what he had to do. Nice little touch right there by Adama Mbenge to play that ball forward for himself. Defender was able to get something on it, which threw that ball straight up in the air. Kevin Molina, the only thing he really had was to try and flick that onto the far post, which is what he tried to do. Just got a little bit of air and it went over the line for a goal kick.
Make sure you friend USL Pro on Facebook. Visit Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. The fan page up and running again tonight. As Cody Andrews will step all the way up and deliver a strike.
Good ball.
Nice ball to McLaughlin, who has plenty of real estate. He'll hold it up and play it back. Boy, running in front. A shot is off the mark as Hardware had a good hard look at it.
What a strike. That ball saw its way through. Hit it very, very hard. Just wide that left post.
Now Bowden. Heath. Oh,
nice
great ball through as Molino runs on. They hit the deck and throw in Orlando City.
What a great ball through that was. I tell you, both teams up and back, Jeff. Great ball one end, great ball the other end. We've got ourselves a good one here.
Chipped over the top and offside. Flag was up on Corey Herzog. Tried to time it perfectly, missed it by that much. So Nick Noble will take his time as we've entered our 17th minute. A little more up and down than I would anticipate here in early going.
Box to box, Jeff. Box to box.
Oh, got to be careful. Nicely held by Valentino as the pressure was coming from Antoine Hopeno.
This is what playoffs are all about.
Ekra.
Oh,
lots of
ball,
movement here from Harrisburg. See how long they can keep it up in the humidity.
Well, when your season's on the line, somehow it tends to fuel your legs a little bit. Good ball.
Herzog.
Makes
What a
the
touch.
reception into the 18, goes
Oh, wow.
down, and that won't be anything.
Well, a good touch and a good last-ditch tackle by
Appeared to be Neil
Harrisburg,
Schaefer,
and
yeah.
I believe that was Neil Schaefer.
Leads to a corner kick, though. Opportunity for a goal, perhaps, for Orlando City as we've entered the 18th.
Corey Herzog took that nice big touch to put it out in front of him so he could accelerate into it. Neil Schaefer having to put in that last-ditch challenge, and had to be good because obviously that's in the box.
Dama and Benge with that left foot. Comes near post. First touched by Harrisburg. Will look to break out of the box as Brian Burke kept it right back in. I'll have to retreat to his defensive post, or perhaps not, as Molino makes a run. Now Estrella. Bowden. And Benge, great first touch.
Orlando City getting a lot of touches on the ball here.
Benge will send it to the far post, and it rolls by, missed it by about a foot. So Dama will give it a go. He leads the league in shots taken with 73 coming in.
Well, there's his right-footed effort forcing Nick Noble into a stretch. Didn't have to touch it. Ball went wide. A lot of touches there for Orlando City, which is what Orlando City want to do. Get a lot of touches, get a lot of players involved.
Well, high into the night, 50-50 ball won by Estrella. Or he could have been a foul before he won the ball. Free kick to Harrisburg. As Matt Boehner, the native of Westchester, Ohio, 24-year-old. Had his injury problems in years past. Complete health this season. A picture of it. Switch is made. Rolls out. Throw in for the City Islanders, who ended the season on 37 points. Good for 8th place. Had a chance to finish as high as 6th. Boehner touched by Bowden. Throw in Harrisburg.
Harrisburg like to get those players wide, really open up that pitch, which gives them plenty of opportunity to pass inside. Look for Jan Ekra, look for Hopeno, look for Robbie Dersheng coming in.
Boehner, the cross, headed right back in that direction. It will stay in that attacking third for Harrisburg, and we knew, Tom, that they were not going to shy away and play defensive.
No, they're going to come. They're going to play on the front foot, and they should. They've had some success against Orlando.
Ball in the middle comes to Kobe Span, and it'll, just to be safe, Marquez will take it out.
It's been a fairly even contest right up the middle. First 20 minutes, I'd say 50-50.
Oh, and Benge just too far out in front for him. As Span and those orange boots will send it out.
Shouldn't have any problems finding his feet with those orange boots.
You're watching the playoffs here on YouTube, our Orlando City SC YouTube page. All 4 of tonight's matches available, being streamed this evening. You can subscribe to the Orlando City SC channel today. Catch this game and hopefully a few more. Rolls into touch. Numbers will come forward as Jimmy McLaughlin to take this throw. No, he'll leave it for Schaefer. So the left back of Aliquippa, Pennsylvania.
Well, this start was the start that Coach Bill Betcher wanted. He said he wanted to come out, put pressure on Orlando early, and he wanted to get out of the first 15 minutes scoreless. And he felt if they did that, they're going to have a really good chance. So he's got what he's wanted. He's gotten out of the first 15 scoreless. So we'll have to see what happens from here.
Bowden with lots of green in front. Lay it off to Estrella. Bowden goes for the top of that box, but Ekra was there to intercept.
So we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Ekra, one of the big things that he does, besides holding the ball up and distributing very well, he gets back. And you see him deep. He was marking there on Kevin Molino.
Hopino works in on Valentino. Not out of the woods yet as it rolls to Carl Wazinski.
Pretty tame effort, really, all in all. That one didn't trouble Carl Wazinski very much.
Adama Mbenge.
He failed to put the mustard on that effort. Got to put mustard on it, Jeff. Got to put
spicy mustard or Dijon.
You got to put the spicy on there.
Not just the plain yellow stuff.
Yeah, if it's not spicy, it's not hot. Nothing happens. It's that hot, it's that spicy, gives it that kick.
Ekra in that center circle will take it himself. Play that little diagonal ball. Hardware. Perhaps one of the best names in USL Pro, Jamil Hardware.
Sounds like a hard man. I mean, Jamil Hardware, not a guy you'd want to get in the ring with.
Perhaps
also, a guy would be very handy to have around if you're trying to build something.
That's right. Sent through, wow. And Spann got a foot on it. It was held up nicely by Herzog. So,
well, he did his best to hold that up for Kobe Spann. Looked a bit like Jackie Chan trying to do it. And the effort obviously just couldn't keep that one controlled and on frame.
A little too bouncy. Hopino again making a run and getting clear. Valentino all the way out into the corner to defend. Hopino gets around, runs the line, goes down.
That's just outside the box. Did you see how quick Antoine Hopino is? How busy and how quick.
And you hear Betcher, Coach Bill Betcher, say that's got to be a card, and it is. So in the book goes Rob Valentino.
We just see him get right around. Rob Valentino tries to put the slide in, but unfortunately Rob gets in between his legs, and that's a pretty easy call for the referee to make right there. And he did very well because the contact was made outside the box, not inside the box.
So a close-up corner, if you will. Real close, easy to find the post here.
Yeah, you're going to have to put a lot of pace on this, probably get it lifted. It's going to have a lot of pace, get up and down really, really quickly.
If it goes off of a purple jersey, it works just as well, counts just as much. Just ping it. His Hardware.
Well, I expect to see this get hit pretty hard.
Hardware and Dershang both approach. Dershang will take, curl it in, and head it out by Brian Burke. So corner kick officially now. And Burke puts his hands to his head.
I told you it was going to be a hard one. And he took that one right on the noggin. Those don't feel good, Jeff. When you hit those, if you don't hit those right on your head, I don't care where you hit a ball like that on your head, it's going to hurt. Especially if you don't catch it right on your hairline, which for me would be like the top of my head at this point because my hairline's receding. But Brian Burke's a young man. He's got one down more on his forehead. It would hurt if you hit it there, but you catch it on the top of the head. That really hurts.
Robbie Dershang gives a go, earns another corner as that one was headed out by Rob Valentino. So Harrisburg has come to play.
No doubt. Right now, if you're Orlando, focus and concentration on this corner. Got to make sure you got good matchups in the box. If Carl Wazinski can get out there and get his hands to this, he's going to.
High in the air and punched out by Carl Wazinski. Held into the attacking third by Harrisburg for a moment. Now the speedy Kevin Molino catches up.
Counterattack is on.
He'll boot it to the other side. Boy, nicely brought down. Oh, Herzog sent it on frame and pushed it off. Boy, great job to bring the ball down inside the 18.
Well, he did a good job. Tried to get the effort. Just played it across the frame, and it's going to go out for a throw-in. Throw-in for Harrisburg. But that's how quickly it turns from you're attacking their box to they're countering then they're countering you. Good punch, good outlet ball that Kevin Molino was able to track down and get on top of.
There's Estrella. Get it right back from Heath. Continue to play the game of catch. Right side Burke, who can deliver a deadly cross. There it goes, a redirect. Wow. As Molino was in the vicinity.
They had 2 players lurking there in the box. If that cross could have found that little space, that was going to be trouble.
Jasinski makes the distribution. Tommy Redding, the 17-year-old center back for Orlando City, signed for MLS, of course. First homegrown signing for Coach Adrian Heath. And this MLS era, nearly a bad giveaway there. And Heath will send it back to Rob Valentino.
And he's just grown and grown as this season's gone on. Very composed young man. I don't think he's fazed by anything he's seen so far. Playing in USL Pro with Orlando City, headed to MLS, playing the playoffs. It's all the same to him.
Bowden and Boehner in the corner. Out to Hardware. No. Intercepted by Adama Mbenge. Here's the turn. Back as it was looking for Heath. He'll take it again now. And that's a speculative effort at best.
I'm not afraid to have a go. I think he might have caught a little ground as he went to strike through that. Didn't quite get it as clean as he wanted it. Of course, hey, Harrison Heath, another one of the 18-year-olds. 18 years old, Harrison Heath. They got quite a few youngsters in this Orlando City lineup. You know, not to mention Tyler Turner, not to mention Estrella. They've got a lot of teenagers. It's a youth movement here in Orlando.
Rafael Ramos, 19 years old. Of course, he and Estrella, the 2 pickups from Benfica over in Portugal, the European partner club of Orlando City, announced this year. So proving to be fruitful so far. Ramos not available tonight. Not in the 18. Played 4 games at left and right back. Had a crazy nice goal against Richmond on the road in that 3-2 victory for Orlando that really spurred them on to the regular season title.
Yeah, that was a critical moment. That was a critical game for Orlando City because they hadn't been playing well on the road. So that road win at Richmond went a long way toward their Commissioner's Cup title.
Brian Burke makes the run on the right side, sends it to the far post, or not. Took a deflection and went straight in the air. Left side, Burrill. And now McLaughlin. Defense races back for Orlando City. The one give and go works. Redding got turned around. Stands his ground now. The turn again by McLaughlin. Look out. McLaughlin still has it, makes the turn, sends it back into space where there are 2 Orlando City players waiting.
For a handball there.
And they get the call. No. Free kick, Harrisburg, or make that a throw in to the groans of the crowd.
Well, I think they're looking for a handball.
Throw by Schaefer. Well, I got to be impressed with McLaughlin. Again, missed those 2 regular season meetings against Orlando.
Good touch to play himself in space, but he lost it there. It's going to set up a counterattack.
Benge has Bowden to the left. He'll take the easy ball. Cuts to his right foot. 2 men defending Bowden that time. Dushang had tracked back. Headed to Estrella. Valdemiro Lamera, his real name. Part of his real name, of course. The naming traditions of the Portuguese a little different than here in the States. Estrella works fine for us. That means star in Portuguese, by the way.
Well, I'm sure we'd be looking for him to be just that tonight if you're an Orlando City fan.
Played a half hour, no score, but plenty of action here between Harrisburg and Orlando City.
Harrisburg, nice, disciplined, compact there in the middle. Trying to make life difficult. They know they don't want Orlando to get untracked. They don't want them to start getting that ball moved around. And you don't want to see Kevin Molino with that ball at his feet a lot. They've done a good job so far.
Heath will settle, send it off a defender.
I'd like to see Orlando City get the backs more involved. As you see, Harrisburg very tightly congested in the middle of the park, making it tough to play in there. But that's going to leave the flanks open. So for Orlando City, you want to see them get those backs forward. Start getting some crosses played in.
Estrella on the deck. And if you're thin at one position, you're Adrian Heath. That is the position, the central midfield, as Darwin Suren currently on international duty with El Salvador as they're playing in that Copa Centroamericano. And has done very, very well, I might add. But right now we're worried about the health of Estrella.
Yeah, it's been an area where players have gone in and out of the lineup for Coach Adrian Heath. A few players, I mean, they still have Anthony Pulis available for tonight who can step in to that role as a holding midfield player.
Now looking at that sub list.
You know, you talk about the loss of Darwin Sarin, of course, the retirement of Giordani Alvarez. So, I mean, at the start of the season, it was Giordani Alvarez and Darwin Sarin. Now you've got Estrella and you've got Harrison Heath. So that's been a position. It's critical to the way they play in that 4-2-3-1. Those two players are vitally important in that position to sit and to hold. And it's been one of the more carousel positions, players coming in and out.
Well, Estrella will be checked out. Orlando now will have to tighten up the ship while he's being attended to.
Well, I said I'd be shocked if it stayed scoreless, and I'm shocked. These two teams would love to get forward.
No, we've said it all season. The longer you can keep it scoreless against Orlando, the better your chances are. And I know that sounds pretty simple. It's easier said than done.
Much easier said than done.
It's clipped out by Valentino. Throw in for the Harrisburg City Islanders, who have looked all the part of a higher seed than 8.
You looked at this and you just knew this was going to be a good game between two teams that were playoff ready.
There's Ekra. Race on now, sent across, a dangerous ball through the 6.
Well, I think it was Antoine Hope, and you saw him getting across the goal there. That's very dangerous because the goalkeeper has to freeze, and you saw the ball got through, no one at the far post. But anytime you can get it cut across that keeper, you want to do that if you're a striker. Of course, you want to score, but one of the big things is get across the keeper because it sets up things at the far post for you.
Off of Dama Mbenge. So goal kick right now. We'll take this time to remind you to follow @USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates on that particular social media platform. Good way to find scores, especially if you follow the other teams as well. Lots to talk about.
Twitter, YouTube, USL Pro is all over it. I love it.
Mbenge, nice composure on the ball. Clipped forward, looking for Molino, a little too high in front, battling those big center backs of Marquez 6'2" and Anders 6'3" tonight. Baril, a lot of touch on the ball tonight, dealing with that Orlando City midfield. Heath, Estrella, looking for the speedy Tyler Turner. Excuse me, Brian Burke. Well, so used to saying it all year. Now Burke's really gotten a lot more of the starts here as of late now that he's healthy.
There's been a few changes this lineup as it's gone forward. And
tell you what, the tactics don't change. No. You just plug a player in and they do the same thing.
But you're right. We get so accustomed to saying Tyler Turner's name over on that right side. We have to get back used to saying Brian Burke.
It's been that 4-2-3 run the last couple of seasons, and now a turnover leads to Hopano. He works in and will send it off, I believe, an Orlando City foot. It is out.
Well, he cut that thing well to his right. You can see him looking to bend that thing to that far post. He wanted that ball in the far post.
Hopano, a goal and an assist so far this season, an Ivy League Player of the Year at Princeton back in 2011, and surely has an educated foot there. 66 appearances, 7 goals for the Philadelphia Union since 2012. Comes back to Mbenge and stolen away. Ekra all the way back to take it away.
Really, honestly, not much going on in the middle of the attacking third for Orlando because of the play of Harrisburg.
Senegal versus Cote d'Ivoire. They're out on that wing.
Little African Cup of Nations
right on the field.
A mini African Cup of Nations right there. Just break out the goals. Let's go 1v1. Senegal, Ivory Coast. Who will win?
This time it's personal. 37th minute, no score. Each team has had its chances here. I have to say it's pretty much a stalemate.
I really think this game is about as even as it gets at this point. And that's going to go a long way for the visitors, I think.
Herzog couldn't quite make the turn on that one. Orlando will continue to possess, going down. Heath in a heap.
Nice turn.
Let's see if this will be a booking on Burrill.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a good turn, and if not for the tackle, he was going to get by. Watch this little turn. Yeah,
Ooh.
You know, that's a little late, and I'd be surprised. I'm surprised there wasn't a card on that, to be honest with you, Jeff.
Play continues. Heath back up. Showing that youthful speed on that turn. That's one way to stop it.
Well, it's one thing to stop it, but then you have to have the right result on the other end. I think he should have been booked there.
Burrill, the native of Spain, the professional foul, he'll tell you. So part of the U16 and U18 national team in Spain, as that one just goes over the line. Dershang was turning on the Jets, and Bods was trying to catch up. Composure shown, and a a throw in. Free kick, corner kick, it's all
One
the
of
same,
them,
right?
Something. It's an Orlando City something or other.
Yeah. Possession for purple. Estrella. Now Span. He'll retreat. Heath with lots of space, he'll take it.
See how tight Harrisburg's keeping themselves, and see how close those four get in the middle. The two interior midfielders, the wide players coming in.
Burke send it to the top of the 18, back heel, as Molino was right there. Burrill will take it. As McLaughlin got it to him quickly. Here they come gallivanting through the midfield. They play the diagonal ball. Look out. Onside. It's in the back of the net. Goal, Harrisburg City Islanders. Here in the 40th minute. Sliding in safe with the goal. They lead 1-0 as Hopino gave it a go. His second goal against Orlando this season, and it gives his team a 1-0 lead.
Well, he made a great diagonal run across. And Jamil Hardaway, as you see him coming, well, we're not getting the other side, but good finish. Good finish by Antoine Hopino. Made a great run. Getting inside Rob Valentino.
Antoine Hopino's second goal in a Harrisburg City Islander uniform. Number 27 slides on his back. Hardware joins him. And for the first time in 4 games, Wazinski has let one come by, but not really all his fault there, as we had a giveaway there at a bad spot.
Well, you definitely don't want to give away a goal. You definitely don't want to give away your near post, but he kind of got beyond, and he had a good look at goal. And he took his chance very, very well, did Antoine Hopino. On a good run. I have to say, his run was very good, and the ball from Jamil Hardware was a good ball. Well weighted. You keep wanting to say Hardaway, but that's not his name.
No.
That's a whole other guy altogether.
You can do it, we can help.
These next few minutes are going to be very important for Orlando City, how they answer this.
Burke catches up, crosses there over the top, right into the hands of Noble. Nobody home on the other end. As Orlando chasing a 1-0 game here in the playoffs. Remember, lose tonight, it's over. And the champs could be out. Hardware. Burrill takes that space. 6-foot Spaniard. Now Ekra. As the attacks continue to come from the visitors.
Yeah, I think they know one goal is not going to do it. I don't think they're going to try and sit on a 1-goal lead, Jeff.
Comes back now, racing on Herzog. Can he gain possession before it goes into touch? Yes, he does.
Orlando City going to have to get their fullbacks more involved. And lo and behold, there's one Luke Bowden.
That one stopped now. Heath. Hardware. Or just dodging it like it's like they're traffic cones. Throw in Orlando City. As we take this time to remind you that Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. You can follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter. So Antoine Hopino, 5 minutes to go in the half, have given the visitors the lead. Molino will try to do something about it here. Makes the turn inside the box and has it taken away by Robbie Dershang. Hold it up. Burrill done a good job moving things from left to right on the switches. Boehner. Right side, McLaughlin. Jimmy didn't like where that was going. Strela. 3 minutes from halftime here. Make that 2 and some change depending on Matt Miscannon's view of stoppage time.
Another handball. That's 3 times.
Free kick. Seems like everybody in the stadium saw it, but Matt Miscannon.
Is he giving a throw in?
Throw in officially. There it goes. Estrella. Now Span. He'll just pound it off the defender. And now will be a throw from the other side. One nothing Harrisburg City Islanders. We talked about it in the open, Tom. This is not the same Harrisburg team that Orlando City beat 3-1. This is more like the team that beat them 3-2 in Harrisburg.
Yeah, it's a good team. Any way you stack it, no matter who they've got, no matter who they don't have, they've got good players, and it's a good team. And as you say, it's a team that these two teams have split during the regular season. I think it was 3-2 up in Harrisburg and 3-1 down here. You know, so you're talking 6 goals one way, 4 the other. It's fairly even.
Infraction by Kobe Span. In Orlando City, 13-0-1 at home in the regular season. They have not tasted defeat here, and you do not want to taste it tonight.
In the playoffs, no, that is not the time to taste defeat.
If that happens, the next game we'll see in purple will be that first game in MLS next year. Schedule still to be released. Should come sometime in November. Wouldn't it be interesting if it was Philadelphia and we saw some of these players again? And 3 Philadelphia Union players in the starting 11 for Coach Bill Betcher tonight. He's had anywhere from 2 to 7 available throughout the season.
Jeff, I'll guarantee no one's thinking about MLS tonight.
No, not at all. Especially not Adrian Heath, who will have 1 minute to work with his team here before the halftime whistle. 1 minute added by Hassan Belnaya, the 4th official tonight. And I'm sure he'll have some choice words in the locker room to the lads. Plenty of time to get it figured out.
Well, it's certainly still all to play for at this point. The one thing you don't want if you're Orlando is you don't want Harrisburg to score again. You need to stay focused for the next 30 seconds. Don't switch off in this situation.
Foul committed by Harrisburg. Free kick Orlando. See how far it has to come back. This will probably be the last attempt at anything here in this half. Quickly taken by Heath. Now Estrella will take the space. Got to work quickly, but smartly at the same time. Poked away. Molino. Got to get moving forward here. We've played the full minute of stoppage. Heath will send it left. And Benge. He'll dribble inside and go down in the box.
No.
Play on.
Like to see that one on a replay.
Back heel as they look for Heath. A little Meg action. along the line. Will it be a corner? And a whistle will stop things for a second. Corner kick is the decision by the referee, Matt Miscannon.
Well, you've still got Dom and Benge
in the
on
box.
the floor, but it's not going to that.
Saw Noble look at Miscannon and say, hey, look at your watch. We are now at 2 minutes into stoppage. This will be the last attempt here for sure. Heath will send it away. Far post. Comes
Another
out
corner.
to another corner if he'll let him play, and he will not.
I'd love to see the replay. Let's have a look. Let's have a close look at this. This could be a pivotal point of the game. So you see Adama gets in the box.
And
yeah. I'm saying that should go to the spot, Jeff.
say a good 6,000
I think as we
are
come
agreeing
back,
with you here.
if we have another angle on that, that one should be going to the spot.
Well,
That
Jan,
keep your eye on that. That could be a pivotal no call in the game right there.
the captain Rob
We're going to look
Valentino
at this one more
stating his
time.
case.
So we see him get in. He's going to take that touch to play it forward. Absolutely. There's a touch. He gets his foot as he comes through. He gets his foot. If there's contact made once the ball's gone, that should be a penalty. And I think you should see Coach Adrian Heath giving him the same thing. No doubt that should be a penalty.
Gaffer is fired up. And that will continue, I think, for the next 12, 13 minutes into that locker room. Orlando City trails at the half 1-0 on the strength of an Antoine Hopano goal in that 41st minute. So fighting for Florida. Orlando City tonight trailing at the half. 45 minutes and change to play. It's the USL Pro Playoffs here on YouTube. We'll see you back here in about 13 minutes. Back at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex, Harrisburg leading Orlando City in this make that quarterfinal of the USL Pro Playoffs. Jeff Radcliffe alongside Tom Traxler. And it was a non-call at the very end of that half that may have some people wondering what the heck is going on, but you also got to give credit to Antoine Hopino, who scored that goal 4 minutes from halftime.
Well, there's no doubt about the goal that Harrisburg City Islanders scored. Good goal by Antoine Hopino. Great ball through by Jamil Hardware. Hopino made a great run to set that one up, took a nice touch, finished it wonderfully. On the other end, should have been a penalty. Should have been a penalty. And that could be critical. I mean, it's 1-0. Sometimes, you know, I've always said, Jeff, in any game, but especially when you get in these playoff settings, or any team that wins anything, not only are you going to have to play well, you're going to need a little bit of luck somewhere along the way. And who knows, maybe that's the bit of luck that Harrisburg get. That no call on a penalty may just be it.
If you're Orlando City, you can't do anything about it now. It's what you do here in the next 45 minutes, perhaps more. Again, there are no ties in the playoffs. They go to overtime if we are level, but Orlando City has work to do before that. As Ekra will play it forward, and Harrisburg, they've switched sides, so they are heading to the north end.
Well, 1-0 is going to make Harrisburg City feel pretty good, but for Orlando City, it's a game on. I mean, it's still, you know, this one's still all to play for.
Ekra will hold. Herzog gives chase. See what adjustments Adrian Heath made at the half. Orlando trails 1-0 here in the USL Pro quarterfinals. There's Molino. 20 goals in the regular season. They could use one now. Adama Benge into the 18, drills it across, goes right through the 6 and touches nobody.
And I think that Neil Schaefer is pretty happy about that. You know, you looked up across their back foot, they all kind of went, ooh, and they saw nobody at the far post. I think it was a little bit of relief there.
Well, the back post was certainly open. Noble sends it high in the sky. Battle at the halfway line. And headed forward to Hardware, or makes the cut. Orlando City bunched up a little bit there, and they turn it over. Little pinball wizard action, as we like to say. The question is, who will respond? Ekra comes away. And drilled off of Harrisburg.
Yeah, it's gonna be an Orlando City throw-in.
Nicely done by Brian Burke. Hold being held up here by Matt Biscannon.
Don't know what the holdup is.
Something in the technical area, perhaps.
Something we certainly can't see.
Fourth official there is Hassan Belnaya. He goes to the Orlando City bench to get things straightened out. They say it's a clock issue. That's the word we're getting from the booth.
They're resetting the clock, although the official keeps the time on the pitch. So I think for the purposes of the audience, perhaps they want
you see Bill Betcher there on the bench all by himself. The rest of the team at the other end.
Yeah, you don't get too near. You leave the gaffer his own seat at the end of the bench. And as a player, you don't want to be anywhere around there. You're ready to go if they call you, but you're not right next to the guy. Yeah, oh no. You leave the coach their room.
See the supporter sections. ILF in the house along with a ruckus. Now Redding forward to Estrella, bumped off by Ekra.
He's been good tonight as well.
Baril.
On Ekra.
That's intercepted by Luke Bowden. Orlando City needs to see some possession here. Run through to Kevin Molino.
He's got two players around him.
Has to be able to make that corner. Can he get it? He swings it inside. Oof. A couple of players were in the vicinity. One of those, Corey Herzog. Looked like Spann was nearby too.
Yeah, Corey Herzog working really hard to try and get in the end of that. Nick Noble had a good line of sight on it. Was able to see it right into his grasp.
Credit to Molino for just getting that thing across the face of goal. Schaefer. Play it into space, looking for Dershang, and Redding gets there first. Estrella. Molino, and boy, gave that away.
That's been a real strength for Harrisburg City so far. Their play in the defensive central midfield has been very, very good. They've denied Orlando City space so far all night long.
With a number of offensive-minded players, we might add. Another one comes straight across.
Rips that across.
Touched by Valentino. That rolls harmlessly to Carl Wyszynski.
Well, you hit that one hard like that, you never know where it's going to bounce. That thing could careen off someone and wind up in your goal.
Now, Jose Burrell, really the only defensive center mid by trade there in that starting 11, is Jason Pelletier out injured. Pelletier, the Harrisburg player that's been there for 7 seasons. Not available tonight, but they've done just fine without him.
Kobe Spann so far having a tough night. So that touch there, just having a tough night. You wonder if Coach Adrian Heath's going to, I'm sure he's plotting a couple changes at this point. You wonder if Kobe Spann's one of them.
Kobe, the loanee from FC Dallas, headed back, and Harrison Heath gave it a go up into the air. Now here comes the turn. Molino will just send it forward. Noble comes way out of his box and will kick it away and then retreat. Spann can't get there.
Ball's up in the air a lot. If you're Orlando City, you want that ball down on the floor. So that's where they play.
Heath out wide to Burke. Switch it to the left.
Good ball.
Running on Molino. He'll hold it up. Has Burke to the right side. He'll find him. Into the corner of the 18. Bryan sends it across. Back heel attempt, no good.
That's what you want to see if you're Orlando. Get those backs forward. Get them involved. You've got to pull Harrisburg City apart a little bit because they're very tight and compact in the middle.
Burke can't get there. You see the frustration from Harrison Heath as he looked to the sky.
But that's quite a recipe. If you're Orlando, that's going to be a recipe. Get the backs involved. Get some crosses played in. Pull this thing apart a little bit.
Noble in front of the supporter section. Bad enough you got to deal with Orlando City's attacking players, and then you got the crowd support right behind you. As long as it stays on the other end, it's pretty easy, as that one goes to Wyszynski.
No, I don't think it's ever easy. I don't think the crowd ever stops singing or chanting or talking to the opposing players. That goalkeeper will certainly get an earful this half.
And the City has been held scoreless for 53 minutes. Back heel Herzog.
A lot of touches. Got to get something through there. Got to get something played through. Got to find somebody that can get something on frame.
Valentino will take the space, approach the halfway line, dump it off. Estrella. Switch complete. Burke. Schaefer on that defensive back line for the City Islanders, making Orlando move the ball. Harrisburg has really done a good job keeping their shape tonight. That one is over the top. We'll take the corner kick.
See more touches. Orlando getting that ball wide, pulling Harrisburg apart a little bit more, and then you see that chance come creeping in. If you're Orlando, the one thing you want to be careful of is those counterattack opportunities. You saw how effective Harrisburg were on them in the first half.
Brian Burke is staying back. hold this in as Bengay sends it away with a left foot. Far post. Went off an Orlando City head. It's drilled by Mbenge. Or was that Estrella? It was Estrella, who I believe took somebody out in the crowd.
I think he sent that ball over to the animal kingdom. I think a lion is playing with it right now. Another lion, not the Orlando City Lions. One over there on the
savannah,
on the Harambe Reserve.
Schaefer will collect the ball. Free kick coming to the City Islanders. Finished 8th this season, 10, 11, and 7. Really battled from a poor start too.
As you can see, though, from their form and the fact that they've been playing desperate for weeks now, and played well and beat Orlando, this was never going to be an easy first-round opponent.
I'd like to say hello to the CI Hecklers, that supporters group that plays and supports their team so well. They're Skyline Sports Complex on the island. Glad you're tuning in. I'm sure you're thrilled with the way this one's turning out so far. 57th minute now. The visitors from Harrisburg are leading it.
I'm sure there's going to be some nail-biting times ahead. About 34 more minutes of it.
Here's the corner. Hardware sent it into the box. And Orlando looks to counter now. Cannot. City Islanders showing lots of discipline, filling the gaps. Akra.
Good tackle.
Stood up. Touch for Kobe Span. He'll work to the right. Into the touch line. Keeps it in.
Good ball.
Collected by
Offside.
Molino, and the flag was up.
Good look by Kobe. It was a good look by Kobe Span. Fortunately, it's an offside run.
Wipes the sweat from his brow. Long way to go in this one, Matt.
If he wants to blame him, he'll look over at his assistant and go, hey, he called that. I just blew the whistle.
What point do you start going to substitutions if you're the gaffer, Adrian Heath?
I would give it probably another 10 minutes. Depending on how those 10 minutes go. If you start to find a rhythm, things start to happen, opportunities start to come.
Square to Burke, able to keep it in, but he's not going to be able to catch it. Sent out by Schaefer.
So if that happens, and here we go, and I kind of thought this was going to be the case. Interesting, though.
Dennis Chin coming in for Kobe Span. So forward for midfielder. So still attacking player for attacking player.
Well, that's interesting. Now I want to see
4-4-2.
Yes, I think so.
Well, we've seen in the past Herzog drop into the midfield and collect the ball a little deeper.
Well, that's what I'm expecting to see, because Corey Herzog can do a lot of the hard work underneath with the runs. Dennis Chin will be stretching up top, of course, with that incredible pace that he has. So Coach Adrian Heath electing to interject some pace. I'm sure we'll see Brian Burke pushing up more. You'll see him getting down that right flank a lot more.
Bengay will send it across. Herzog trying to win the 50-50. It comes off Estrella. Heads it down into the 18. Is Burrell able to save it before it goes out for a corner?
No. But
throw-in.
It's a throw-in, not a corner. He did save it from being a corner.
Estrella pleading his case. Picking up English quite quickly. Came here, all he knew was Portuguese. Well, in Angolan. Or are they speaking Angola?
I think he came here young. Easier to learn that language when you're young, because, boy, if I had to go to Portugal.
Yeah, not happening, huh?
Nope.
Football is the international language, right? That is love.
Well, when you play, I mean, you can point. A good run is, yeah, there you go.
The language
but we're
of
not
love.
going to go there. I'll tell you, though, when you're playing a pitch, a good run's a good run. You find it no matter what language you're speaking. The pass will be made.
Orlando, we're coming up on an hour played, still searching for that equalizing goal. Gave up the lead in the 41st minute to Antoine Hopano, the Philadelphia Union loanee. Boy, nice touch being shown by Dershang. Dershang with 3 goals this season against Orlando. Taken away by Dennis Chin. Keeps it on his right foot. Will turn it around. Spray it square. Bengay keeps it in front. He'll go to the right side now. Looking for Dennis Chin.
I think he's going to call a free kick. I think Dennis Chin was pulled back a little bit there by Cody Andrews. That should be a free kick.
Bengay appears to stand over.
Where's that?
Shang and Hardware will have to get 10 back.
Where's that spray?
Next year.
Where's that little spray around the ball? Spray where the line will be for the wall.
Next year in MLS. All Orlando City fans will see that. But we want to keep this season going for 2 more weeks. Want to end now. Got to get a goal to make it happen. There's a shot going off the head. Comes right back out. Good service.
Well, if Harrisburg had a game plan, I think they've played it to a T so far. They've limited any real good chances for Orlando. They've been very disciplined in defending corners and restart and free kicks.
Another restart upcoming. As we're now into our 62nd minute. 1-0 Harrisburg City Islanders.
This is where Orlando City need Rob Valentino to come up big and strong.
Burke staying back to cover his spot. Wary of the counter here if you don't get it. The City Islanders have shown the propensity to get down to the other end of the field rather quickly. Drilled to the far post. That's not going to bother anybody except for the fence that it hits.
Too long. You can't overhit those. You've got to get those in. You got Rob Valentino, some bodies in the box. You have got to deliver that ball. That ball's got to be a better delivery.
Scores, stats, news, and more can be found exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. Nick Noble, 29-year-old keeper, sends it over the halfway line. 50-50 header. Kept in nicely.
Kept in. Did well.
Schaefer. A little one touch to Hardware. A little too far out in front. Tommy Redding distributed it out to his backline mate. And Valentino. Here's Heath. And Bengay looking right side. Burke sweeps it. And off of a Harrisburg player. No,
last touch by Brian Burke.
Goal kick. As we tell you to visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. Plenty of friends to be had. Crowd certainly doing their part. Can Orlando City reward them? Burrill.
Still a lot of football to be played here, Jeff. So, but this one can go in any direction. This is better than an Agatha Christie mystery.
Oh, that's a foul.
You could see Orlando City getting a goal. You could see Harrisburg getting a second goal and putting a real twist in these proceedings.
Can't get too frustrated yet. Not that point in the match.
But boy, wherever you're sitting, grab yourself a bowl of popcorn and a drink and sit back and watch intently.
Just don't throw the popcorn at the screen.
If I had popcorn from me a game like this, I'd keep shoveling it in my mouth. I wouldn't stop. That should be a booking.
And Hopano will see yellow. So in the book for a goal, in the book for a yellow card with the challenge.
Well, pretty easy one, really. Oh, come sliding in. I think studs were up as well, as it looked. Studs up is a pretty easy one to give a card on.
So here's a substitution first of the night for Harrisburg. Morgan Langley will come on for Jameel Hardware. That's a 1-for-1 sub. Play about the same spot.
Oh, well, this isn't bad either. Morgan Langley coming in, 6 goals, 6 assists, 18 points on the season.
Leading goal scorer off of the bench. That's a luxury for Bill Betcher. Of course, he missed that last Orlando City game here. He was suspended for yellow card accumulation. So keep an eye on number 15.
Got to get on the other end of those crosses if you're Orlando City. You're putting balls across the box. You've got to get your head on those.
Here's the turn. And front. Herzog.
Oh, good block by Richie Marquez. Because Corey Herzog had turned, and that was going to frame. Richie Marquez.
Like hand play there between Ekra and Estrella. Continues. Play on. Molino tries to get that one touch ahead. Chin can't quite get there. Is sliding out to save it was Noble. That was a little dodgy.
Boy, on that one where you had Corey Herzog turning, that was like an underdog moment. Richie Marquez. Polly Purebred was right there. She was screaming, "Help me, underdog." Here comes Richie Marquez. Underdog to the rescue.
And there's no need to fear. Richie Marquez is here. Boy, did we date ourselves with that cartoon.
I really did. Great cartoon, though.
Dershang. He'll hold it up. Nicely given away.
Watch
top of the 18. There. Look out.
So it could be trouble.
Right side save made by the leg of Wazinski. That was a hockey save.
I was about to say that made any NHL keeper happy. Kick save right there by Carl Wazinski. Could be important. I mean, a save like that keeps you in a game. Because all it takes is one kick for Orlando, and this one's level.
Corner kick, Harrisburg. Can they lead 1-0? Hopino the goal in the 41st. Dershang. Hands up. Lets it fly with the left foot. Defended nicely by Orlando. Trying to make something of a counter. Cannot. Ekra. Harrisburg has certainly had their fair share of possession, keeping things in that attacking third all night. Can't say we've seen much of that here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex this year. Perhaps on the road late in the season, Orlando's conceded a lot of that, but not at home. There's Dennis Chin trying to make us stamp on this game. And Benge played off the ball, comes back to retrieve.
Just nothing happening in the center of the pitch, really, for Orlando. I mean, that's where Harrisburg's been having lots of bodies.
Oh, trying to release Chin on the right.
Again.
Last ball, the final ball is just not reaching the target.
Yeah, good looking one too, but didn't finish.
Hopino.
The one didn't find the two.
I'll have to slow up as Valentino goes out to guard. Marked nicely. Comes back. Here comes the switch. Dershang across. Schaefer. Harrisburg with this lead, able to dictate the pace somewhat. Burrell back. Comes to Langley. Just recently checked in. We got a turnover. And now Adama Benge on that right side has plenty of real estate. Plays it forward. Dennis Chin and Noble out of the box to make the save.
Not quite going to get there, but that's where you want Dennis Chin, high up the park. You don't want Dennis Chin back in the midfield receiving balls to his feet. His ability here is pace. Good looking ball. Good effort by Adama Benge. Nick Noble sees it, makes a great run out to knock that one away. Keep it out of their box and out of trouble.
Subs 2 and 3 for Adrian Heath as Harrison Heath comes off for Anthony Pulis. And Tyler Turner in there right back for Brian Burke.
Well, this one's going to be interesting. I think Tyler Turner is going to continue to get forward. Of course, he's been the right back of choice most of this season. I don't think he played very well in the loss against Harrisburg, and I wonder if that was a matchup situation. So this will be interesting to look at. because he's still going to be facing up with Robbie Dersheng.
Shakes off the defender. Ekra will send it on frame, and woo! Noble there to stop it. That was testy.
Well, it was a deflection. He had to hold it. Corey Herzog coming in, because you never know if the keeper's going to be able to keep that one clean and held. It might bounce off him, especially off a deflection.
About 20 minutes to go in Orlando City's season.
Good tackle.
Need an equalizer. So again, Hopino a handful.
Hopino making great, strong, hard runs.
Sent into touch. Throw in Orlando. Molino. League leader in goals and points this season. Has not been a factor here today or this evening.
Well, I just think the concentration of Harrisburg City right in the middle of the park. Just take a look at the numbers. That's why I say Orlando City got to do this right here. Got to open up the pitch with those crosses more.
Coming back, Herzog can't get there and be drilled. Now Tyler Turner. Good job to ward off the defender. Estrella. Benge now playing exclusively on the right, earns, I believe, a corner kick. Nope, throw it. Tough to see that corner on our angle.
Definitely.
'72nd minute now. Can Orlando City uncrack the scoring column?
Well, the crowd certainly doing their part to lift them.
Oh.
See, good pressure in there, forcing Orlando, giving away a lot of balls in that part of the park.
Chin had come back to retrieve. Estrella will get forward. Play a little bit more direct. Out jumping it.
Good distribution.
Bowden. Pulis unable to send it away. Langley comes together with Valentino. Hope he's okay. He's up. Estrella, nice ball through.
Didn't get a touch on it though.
Went right past Chin.
I think he's thinking it may has more pace and was going to get through. He's going to let that go on for Molino, but didn't have enough on it.
No matter what happens, got to give a lot of credit to Bill Betcher for the game plan tonight. It's worked. As Gentile, Giuseppe, old Juicy Juice will come in for Corey Herzog, who's again worked his tail off tonight. Didn't get anything out of it. So Gentile in at striker.
Also, Bill Betcher said before the game, in talking to him, if they could get out of the first 15 minutes scoreless, they felt they had a chance. So far, he is spot on.
Sent forward. Oh, you hear Adrian Heath not thrilled with that. No,
I think he was saying to relax, but he was yelling it. Relax!
Schaefer takes ping off of Mbenge.
But I think what he's asking for is not just more composure.
McLaughlin has it taken away.
Just a little bit more composure. No need to rush at this point.
Speaking of Russian, it's Dennis Chin.
Duh. Since you're saying Russian.
Oh, Gentile. So close. Noble will pick it up. Giuseppe with 2 goals and an assist in his 11 games as a Lion this season. Came over from Charlotte midseason. Benge still has the good touch.
Yeah, I mean,
Lad never gets tired.
There's still plenty to play for. So what Coach Adrian Heath wants is some composure. Keep the ball knocking around. Lots of time still. So, I mean, it's one goal. And you've got the league's leading goal scorer out on the pitch.
Again, if Orlando could tie it up, it would force an overtime situation. And 2 overtime periods, and not settled there, but you got to score a goal first. Nice job by Pulis to keep it alive. Strela. Bowden flick it up over the top as Molino sent to the deck, and Boehner got the best of that one. 15 minutes to go. Time winding short here. The 8 seed trying to pull off the upset.
Oh, they would have.
That was over the line.
You get a win here, you've earned it. Because this is in the worst place for anybody to come and get a result.
Fans, make sure you follow at USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates. Turner comes back to his fellow U.S. Youth International partner Tommy Redding. And the future is bright for Orlando. They want the future to continue here for another game.
Yeah, I think they want their future to be in the next few weeks.
Scary ball. Jimmy McLaughlin had caught up to it. Redding. Benge will survey things. Take the space. Send it across. Bowden now. He'll make a run. Luke holds up and held up. How is that not a foul? It is.
It is. Yeah. He was looking, just waiting for the whistle, really.
Just heard word. 95th minute now in Richmond. Charleston and the Kickers tied at 1.
So no easy games anywhere. These playoffs are a funny thing.
Winner of that game meet the winner of this one, which right now stands to be the Harrisburg City Islanders, as McLaughlin attended to a cramp. McLaughlin, one of those Philadelphia Union loanees, been loaned to Harrisburg for 3 straight seasons now and scored 6 goals in his 23 games for the City Islanders this year. A key cog.
You never know what these loan situations do for a player. I mean, you look at Dom Dwyer last year, who was a loanee from Sporting Kansas City. Now look at him.
MLS All-Star. On the verge of setting a team record in Sporting Kansas City for goals scored. Played last night. I did not see if he got a goal. But so DePrima checks in for McLaughlin. As we tell you, Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. That ball intercepted. And it's getting a bit dodgy. As Matt Miscannon will run in. Anthony Pulis. Benge runs on. Excuse me, that was Estrella. Does he earn the corner?
Yes, he does.
He does, and Nick Noble does not agree. So opportunity here for the Lions. Pulis will let it fly high in the air.
Wow.
It fell just outside the 6. Noble came out and couldn't get it.
Those ones you got to get a touch on.
Benge runs. Now Molino. Whoa. That one just over the bar.
It's one where you wanted that flick. It was a little too far beyond that near post.
Lions looking dangerous here in the last couple of minutes.
Good ball in by Kevin Molino. Dennis Chin rises up to hit this and just misses. That's one of those, you know, when you're at the near post or beyond, that little flick to the far post goes a long way.
Noble with 10 more minutes to try to keep that clean sheet and send the City Islanders through. I believe that we will win chant now is picked up. Out for a throw in. 3 hands went in the air in disagreement for Harrisburg. They'll back end defend.
That was almost better than any dance troupe. That was like right on. That was right on key for all of them.
Synchronized.
Yes, it was.
Bowden able to keep. Now Molino had it picked away. Jose Barril has been solid back there. Well, now
he's going to have to keep it on his own here at this point.
Dangerous foray. They play the diagonal ball. They'll be escorted by Turner back to Wazinski. Tyler and a sub coming in for Brian Burke about 10 minutes ago. Gentile comes all the way back to Cody Andrews. And then throw in Orlando. Time winding short now. You'd have to say, though, I think the second half's been a little better pace-wise for Orlando City, playing a little bit, at least here in the last 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, I would say Orlando City's probably edged this half of play. The only important thing, really, is the one that's on the scoreboard. Harrisburg's converted the only chance of the match.
Oh, how about Dennis Chin? They flick it over his back. Kept it alive.
Very athletic.
Speaking of athleticism, there's Mbenge. Tyler Turner, nice one touch. Play. He'll get a left foot on it, perhaps.
Nice play.
Runs back into the 18. Too many. Oh, taking a bad angle. Here comes Morgan Langley. Just dump it ahead.
So one thing Orlando's, I mean, they're going to have to go for it at this point, but it's the counterattack that you open yourself up to. And with Langley on the pitch, Dershang on the pitch.
Too far out in front for Bowden. Goal kick.
Hopido on the pitch.
Every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube in 2014. Features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. You can subscribe for free to the Orlando City SC YouTube channel today. I'll have nothing to see here in about 8 minutes if Orlando doesn't tie things up. Noble. Nice job, Valentino. Back-to-back headers there, make it 3. Flicked back by Gentile.
Orlando City are going to need a moment of magic by someone.
Who's up to the challenge? That moment of brilliance. Who wants to chase? Pulis, one of them. Bowden comes back to Wazinski. He's allowed just one get past him in the last 4 games. It's happened here in the playoffs. Gentile able to keep it in, but Andrews moved it forward. Numbers going forward for Orlando as Redding sent it ahead. Valentino to Estrella, and he gets fouled. Ekra was there, so was Dershang. Free kick Orlando, 84th minute. They trail 1-0. The USL Pro story of Orlando City will come to an end in less than 10 minutes unless things change here. Here's the turn made. Estrella earns the corner kick. And he's fired up about it. That fires up the fan base in front.
I think he wanted that ball to get across. Frustration is what that was, Jeff.
And Mbenge.
Gonna have to get a big noggin on this ball.
Bends it in, and corner kick, no. Goal kick.
It's got to be a better ball. That ball's got to be delivered in, Jeff. Guy buys in. You can't be having a player using a diving header at the near post. And not even at the post. It's outside the 6.
Orlando City 19-4-5 in the regular season, 62 points. Won the league somewhat comfortably. Have some silverware to show, their 3rd regular season title in 4 seasons. And their dream of a third playoff cup, though, will come to an end here in about 5 minutes and some stoppage time, unless they can get something here. A lot at stake for each side. Harrisburg has been looking for revenge since 2011 when they lost in penalty kicks in the Lions' first ever championship game. Turner with a great ball in. Couldn't do much with it. Throw in Orlando. I have a feeling we'll see a lot of the ball on the attacking half of Orlando here in the next 5 minutes. Got to be wary of the counter, though. Strela on the foot. Molino.
Well, at this point, you leave a couple back to try and prevent that from happening, but you put bodies forward at this point. You got to get the ball in that box.
Drilled in by Molino. Comes to Benge. He'll shoot.
Ooh, that's going to go for a corner. But the delivery has to be good here, Jeff. Like the last corner. Harrisburg City players cramping up.
Appears to be Cody Andrews. So one of your best defenders is down. So it'll take some time.
Go over and get some water. There you see Adam Benge looking over at the referee going, hey, you're adding this on. The referee says, yep, I got it. I'm adding on.
It's got word from Richmond. Emmanuel Leggetti has picked up a red card for Charleston in the 104th minute. They are in overtime. Tied at 1, but the battery will play a man down. Here, Orlando City, a little over 4 minutes away from being knocked off in the first round. Anthony Pulis, you know, will give a good effort here. Right-footed shot on the way, redirects, and it comes through. And Benge will run to the corner. Beat his man to the line, but can't keep it in. Goal kick, Harrisburg. Lions need a goal to force overtime.
Well, I don't think you'd add good odds on Orlando City going blank at home in a playoff game.
13-0-1.
Those have been long odds. It'd be a big payday for someone in Vegas if they had a line on that.
Popeno whistled for the foul. Boy, the time is now, isn't it?
Well, I'm sure all the fans here would agree with you, Jeff.
Giuseppe Gentile takes it into the corner. Comes back to Molino. Oh, nice turn. Molino flicks it on to Dennis Chin. Can he get a turn? Goes down in the box.
Too many turns.
Play on.
Free kick.
And now a foul committed by Orlando City.
So see him come in, and he's just going to try and turn it on himself, but nope. That was a very strong, clean tackle put in there.
Neil Schaefer.
That was nothing wrong with that. Ball was there, stepped in, nice and strong, very clean.
Into the book.
Again, Jeff, I'm going to go back to that incident at the end of the first half. That was a pivotal moment in this game because that should have been a penalty in the first half. And right now, that's proving to be huge.
Adrian Heath inclined to agree.
And as I said, to win anything in any sport, you need about an amount of luck. And
at least a modicum of luck.
Well, and at this point, that could be that bit of luck. I mean, you're away from home. You're an 8 seed playing a number 1 seed in a place where nobody's managed to get a win all year.
Harrisburg taking their good old time. Well, yeah, why wouldn't you?
Absolutely. They know what time it is.
Throw ahead, splitting the defenders, and we'll take it into the corner to waste more time. Dershang. Morgan Langley, actually. Now Ekra will do the same thing.
Oh, yeah, Ekra. See how he holds the ball up very well. We talked about that top broadcast. Very strong.
Estrella trying to win it. Time continues to tick away. We are 20 seconds away from 90.
I don't think he wanted to play that one quickly.
Word is 5 minutes will be tacked on here in about 10 seconds. I remember that USL Pro Championship game in 2011. Orlando City had the lead. They had broken up a stalemate. And when in stoppage time, Harrisburg was able to tie it up to force overtime. Can Orlando City turn the trick here?
Dangerous play. You know, Jeff, you've seen lots of late game heroics in many games, in many leagues, in many scenarios across the planet. Anything is up for grabs at this point. I wouldn't be surprised to see anything here at this point. In a shocker like this, anything could and so far has happened.
1/2 minute into 5 minutes of stoppage time. Well, if the Lions wanted to make it dramatic, mission accomplished. Here's Molino. Oh, too far in front for Bods. And about 4 minutes remain. Certainly had their opportunities, but so far credit goes to the City Islanders, who've been the better team tonight thus far.
You never know what can happen, Jeff. This is a crazy old game.
Had this happen in the final game of the regular season, wouldn't have been that huge a deal. Orlando wouldn't have finished perfect at home, but still would have been playing in the playoffs. Happens here, it's all over. And the Lions will be unable to put a bow tie on their USL Pro existence. That one drilled across.
Well held. Carl Wazinski.
Wazinski needed to make that catch. 3 minutes to go. The natives getting restless if they haven't been already. Pulis. Ball forward to no one. Body language not good on the side of the Lions here.
This ain't caught a boot, but I don't think Orlando City's going to stop playing.
Estrella, as the player continues to stay down for Harrisburg. Player back up. 93rd minute.
It's getting hectic out there. Better part of a minute. Getting on about 2 minutes, 10 seconds left to go. And hearts are in throats everywhere. Hearts are in throats up in Harrisburg.
Here in the broadcast booth.
Hearts are in throats out on that pitch. Hearts are in throats in the stands.
2 minutes to go. Speaking of the stands, that's where that ball finds itself. Throw in Orlando City.
Drama, Jeff. Drama. That's what playoffs are all about.
Langley. He'll receive it now.
This could be trouble.
A nail in the coffin, perhaps. Langley will send it off. Wazinski cut off the angle, and the giveaway came right back up front.
Wow, what a tackle by Tommy Redding.
90 seconds remain. Do or die, and Benge gets defended by Ekra. Ball into the bench, need it quickly. Oh, now Mbenge goes down, takes a kick, and now Tyler Turner there to defend his teammate.
Well, he went in.
Dershang, and now sent off is Tyler Turner, shown the red, and Orlando is down to 10.
Not even sure what for. I'd have to see what happened. I mean, I know he went over, he put his hands on the player, but don't know what was said. So you see studs up right there. That's a studs up challenge.
Let's see. That was the red on Dershang, or was it on Tyler Turner?
That's a studs up challenge. He's giving Tyler Turner pride for putting his hands on Dershang right there.
Yep.
but he's not going to issue anything on the studs up tackle.
That's not going to go over well.
Well, actually, there's Tyler Turner. Did go on Dershang. It was on Dershang.
So Dershang's down.
It was very unclear who he was carding by his
Tyler.
because Dershang was on the floor and he didn't show it to him on the floor. He showed it up and he was looking up, so you'd assume it was for Tyler Turner. You're like, what for? You're like, it should be for the studs up challenge, and it was.
There you go. So Harrisburg now down to 10 men.
This should add a few more minutes onto these proceedings, at least another 45 seconds.
And the angst to the Orlando City fan base at the same time. Turner will send it in. Orlando put the man advantages with Zinski all the way up too, so make it a two-man advantage if they can keep possession of the ball. Estrella has it taken away. He'll retreat, gets it to the side.
Get it in the box. Get it in the box.
No clue how much time is left now. We've reached the full 5, but something added.
Too many touches. You got to get that ball served in the box in this situation.
Wazinski racing back. Schaefer will line it up, cut it off to the right foot. Ekra, top of the 18, and Wazinski wisely comes out to stop it. 6 minutes gone by now in stoppage. Orlando trails 1-0.
You got to get this ball in the box. That's it right there. That should be it.
And there's the whistle. The Harrisburg City Islanders storm the field. They have pulled off the improbable. The 8 seed knocks off the top seed in the regular season champs. As you see, the angst on Tyler Turner. 1-0. Harrisburg makes a 41st minute goal. Stand up. They advance. Survive and advance, they say. They're on to the USL Pro semifinals, and the USL Pro existence of Orlando City comes to a very bitter end.
Well, it was certainly a good goal scored by the Harrisburg City Islanders. Great on the counterattack. If you remember, Jameel Hardware coming right down the middle with Antoine Hopino making a great run across the Orlando City defense. Came from his right all the way across, or excuse me, came from his left all the way across to his right. Scored a fantastic goal to give them the lead in the first half. And it was a continuous onslaught by Orlando in the second half, but no real quality efforts on frame by Orlando in the entire match. But you will go back to that one moment, and I don't know if they have that, I don't know if they have it queued up, but we will go back to that one moment late in the first half where I'm going to say, and here it comes, this is where Adama Bay gets through, right there. You saw the touch. That one should have gone to the spot. Here it is again. You see him cut through it, he's in. And there goes Jan Ekra. The touch is made, the player goes over. That one should have gone to the spot. That is a pivotal moment.
And then Dennis Chin.
That was a good tackle. Dennis Chin turns in, but that was that right there, what we just saw, was a very strong tackle that was put in by Neil Schaefer.
Hopino's goal holds on for Harrisburg. They improved to 500, 11-11-7, and they advance. They'll play either Richmond or Charleston, that game in extra time. And the crowd support for tonight and throughout the 4 seasons in USL Pro has been second to none. Kudos to the fans. Harrisburg certainly appreciates it.
Well, they might have a few fans as you look over there. A few fans have come down to support Harrisburg all the way down from Pennsylvania. They're giving them as you see them over there, they're giving their fans a big round of applause.
Well, as the 8th seed, they will be on the road throughout, no matter what happens. So they'll be either at Richmond or at Charleston next week.
They're going to be road warriors throughout these playoffs.
Let's take a look at the stats in this 1-0 game. Well, Harrisburg actually outshot Orlando City 7-6.
Well, and they win 1-0. They outshoot them by 1. But look at that. One real key one for me that stands out is 6 on target for Harrisburg, only 2 for Orlando City. That is really, really unusual. As well, if you look at the corners, Orlando City edging in corners 7-5, a little bit close. But the real one there is shots on goal 6-2, shots overall 7-6. Orlando City only taking 6 shots in the entire match. That is very unusual, but that's good for Harrisburg because you limited those opportunities, and it led to them leading 1-0 at the end of the half, and most importantly, 1-0 at the end of the game, extending their season by another week at least.
Meanwhile, Orlando City's USL Pro campaign ends 19-5-5. They get some hardware. In fact, got their 3rd regular season championship this year. Were denied a 3rd playoff championship. So 5 pieces of hardware in 4 short seasons. You can't take anything away from what this organization did in 4 short seasons.
Well, no, I think their history in USL Pro is well cemented, Jeff. I mean, just in terms of the hardware that they've won. Also, they're the most successful team in professional soccer history in the United States over their first 4 years of existence. No team has done what Orlando City has done in their first 4 years of existence. So that's something to look forward to. And for these fans here in Orlando, while there's nothing to look forward to for the rest of the USL Pro season, and their time in USL Pro is now done, everyone will turn their attention to Major League Soccer. And I'm sure there's going to be some bright times ahead for that guy right there and all those fans. And if you think this is a lot of fans, well, you just wait till opening day of the MLS season that comes to Orlando. I think there's going to be quite a full Citrus Bowl, and it will be rocking.
That said, looking back on USL Pro, this is the premier lower division in the United States, and it will continue to be so. It's in good hands. We certainly look forward to the partnership next year when Orlando City is in MLS with Louisville City SC. Of course, 4 other teams joining. It's healthy. St. Louis, Austin, Tulsa, and Colorado Springs. An 18-team table in USL Pro next year. And we certainly have to thank the president, Tim Holt, Ian Thatcher in the video production department, Jay Preble, the director of communications, of course, our friend Nicholas Murray, the gentleman, the communications coordinator, who've made this possible for us to do these broadcasts and bring them to you the last 4 seasons on many platforms here on YouTube and then back on Bright House Sports Network and the like. So wrap up 4 years here. It's been it's kind of, we don't expect this to end as quickly as it does. And here we are talking about the finish. And now you close the book and open a new one.
Well, I've certainly enjoyed sitting here for the last 2 years beside you and getting a chance to watch some wonderful soccer in USL Pro and watch this league as it's been developing, and it will continue to develop. I think it's a fantastic league. I think it's going to continue to be a great league, and one that I'm going to continue to watch with a lot of intrigue, and I'll especially be watching the team that will be partnered up with Orlando City, Louisville City. So I look forward to seeing their inclusion next year and how they're going to do, as well as all the other new teams that are going to be in USL Pro.
Special thanks goes to Brett Lashbrook, the COO of Orlando City Soccer, Teresa Tatlangari, the VP of Marketing, Leonardo Santiago, the Vice President of Communications, for helping making this broadcast possible for you this year. And, of course, Austin Hiddle, we will miss you, our broadcast coordinator. Tom, it's been a pleasure. Hope we see you next season. Tom Traxler, my partner. Thanks to our ESPN crew who's provided the great pictures and production all season long here on YouTube and on the USL Pro platform. I'm Jeff Ratcliffe saying so long from the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex for the final time in 2014. Orlando City's season comes to an end. Harrisburg wins it 1-0. Good night.